My name is Sophia. For 6 months, I've been a ghost. A junior auditor at Valor, the biggest investment bank in Madrid. My job is to be invisible, to stare at numbers until my eyes burn. Billions of euros, moving like digital rivers. I'm not a shark, I'm the plankton they don't even notice. My boss, everyone's boss, really, is Isabel Torres, the VP of Risk. She's not a person, she's a legend. A woman made of ice and sharp angles. She doesn't speak, she delivers sentences. I once bumped into her by the elevators and stammered an apology. She didn't say a word. She just stared at me, her eyes so dark and intense it felt like I'd failed a test I didn't know I was taking. Everyone is terrified of her. Me, most of all. Our CEO is the opposite. Alejandro Rivera. He is the bank. He's man of the year, the philanthropist, the media darling. His face is on billboards, his voice on the radio, always talking about trust and transparency. He's a god in a tailored suit. It all started with a rounding error. I was working late, not because I had to, but because I found a puzzle. A single line of code in the core transaction system. A rounding error. 0.003 cents. It was nothing. A glitch. But it was consistent. Every single transaction, from every single client, was being shaved. Curiosity got the best of me. I followed the trail. These cents weren't just disappearing. They were being collected. Diverted. It was a salami slicing scheme. I traced the micropayments to a single dormant account. An account that hadn't been touched in 5 years. An account that belonged to no one. I ran the numbers. My calculator couldn't handle it. I had to write a script. The glitch was pulling in 40 million euros a year. For 5 years. 200 million euros. It was a perfect, invisible theft. My hands were shaking. This wasn't a glitch. This was a feature. That afternoon, I did what I was trained to do. I flagged the account for a level 3 review. It was the biggest and best mistake of my life. That night, I left late. The building was quiet. The parking garage was a concrete tomb, echoing with the sound of my own footsteps. When I reached my car, a figure stepped out of the shadows. Isabel Torres. I froze. My heart hammered against my ribs. "Get in the car, Miss Ruiz," she said. Her voice was quiet, but it cut through the silence like a razor. It wasn't a request. I sat in the passenger seat of her black Audi, my hands trembling. She didn't start the engine. The only light came from the dim, orange glow of the garage. She stared straight ahead. "The rounding error," she said. It wasn't a question. I thought it was a system glitch, I stammered. She let out a single, dry laugh. "It's not a glitch, Sophia. It's our CEO's retirement plan." My blood turned to ice. Rivera? But, he's a thief, Isabel cut in, her voice like gravel. A very, very good one. He's been shaving cents off 1.5 million clients for 5 years. And you just knocked on the front door of his private vault. She finally turned to look at me. Her eyes were intense, terrifying. "They know someone is looking. They ran your access logs the second your flag went up. And now, they need a scapegoat." She paused, letting the words hang in the air. A meticulous junior auditor, working late, finds a flaw in the system. In trying to fix it, she accidentally diverts 200 million euros. A tragic, career-ending mistake. But don't worry, the bank will handle it. They are going to frame you, Sophia. They are going to destroy you. Tonight. I couldn't breathe. But I didn't do anything. "Exactly," she said. She reached into her briefcase and pulled out a simple, black USB drive. She pressed it into my hand. Go home. Lock your door. Don't tell anyone. Not your roommate, not your parents. As of this moment, everyone you know is either an enemy or a fool. Review what's on this drive. You have 24 hours to decide if you want to be a victim or a weapon. She got out of the car and was gone. Swallowed by the shadows. I don't remember the drive home. I ran to my apartment, locked the door, and jammed a chair under the knob. I plugged in the USB. It contained the truth. Isabel Torres wasn't just the VP of Risk. She was the lead undercover investigator for the National Securities Market Commission. She had been embedded for a year, building a case against Rivera, but she could never find the final piece, the destination account. My audit, my rounding error, was the key. But the USB also held the other side. Rivera's plan. There were audio files. Recordings. Rivera's smooth, charming voice, talking to the head of bank security. A leak in audit. Yes, a junior. Prepare the scapegoat protocol. I want a full evidence package planted on her work terminal. I want every stolen set to look like it was her idea. Her IP, her access codes. Ruin her. I want her in tears by morning. They were going to do it tonight. They were already doing it. My work laptop, on my desk, pinged. An email from HR, subject, urgent account suspension. Dear Miss Ruiz, your system access has been temporarily revoked pending an investigation into anomalous activity. My phone buzzed. My direct manager. Sophia, what did you do? The compliance team is here, they're sealing your desk. They're saying you, oh my God, Sophia. He hung up. I was already a ghost. They were framing me, Liv. My phone rang again. An unknown number. I answered. Did you see it? It was Isabel. They're framing me, I whispered, tears welling in my eyes. They're fast, she said. The run option just got harder. They're probably watching your building. You have two choices. Disappear, and I'll do my best to clear your name later. Or, you fight. With me. Tomorrow is the general shareholders meeting. Rivera is giving the speech of his life, celebrating his record profits. We have one chance. 1. To expose him in front of the entire board, the press, and the regulators. I looked at my degree on the wall. I thought of the shame. I didn't do this, I said, my voice shaking. I know, Isabel said. But you're the only one who can prove it. The presentation is on a closed network. But a level 3 auditor terminal, your terminal, has a hard-coded exception for emergency data integrity checks. It's a protocol, you know. You're the only one who can get in. What do I have to do? The shareholders' meeting was a circus. 1,000 people in the bank's main auditorium. Media cameras everywhere. Rivera was on stage, a god in a 10,000 euro suit, soaking in the applause. The future of this bank, he boomed, is built on one word. Trust. The crowd went wild. I wasn't in the crowd. I was 3 floors below, in the cold, humming server room, with Isabel. We'd used a maintenance ID to get in, avoiding the main security desk. The presentation is on that server, Isabel whispered, pointing. The system is on a closed loop. But your terminal, your credentials, can bypass it. I sat down at the crash cart terminal. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely type. Isabel. Security just pinged. Unauthorized access, sublevel 3. They know we're in. You have 60 seconds, Sophia, Isabel said, her voice calm as ice. Do it. On stage, Rivera continued. Our profits are up 20%. A testament to our stability. Allow me to show you the numbers. He clicked. The giant screen behind him went black, preparing to show a bar graph. Now, Sophia. Now. I typed the command. Run/override/path laughing face : the _real _ audit.xlsx. My finger slipped. Access denied. Focus, Sophia. Isabel hissed. Again. I took a breath. I typed it again. Run/override/path _audit.xlsx. I hit enter. On the giant screen, Rivera's bar graph vanished. It was replaced by my spreadsheet. The spreadsheet. Showing the secret account. The 200 million stolen euros. And at the top, in giant, red letters, I had added myself, private account, Alejandro Rivera. Origin, salami slicing theft from 1.5 million clients. A collective gasp sucked the air out of the room. Rivera turned. His smile froze. That's a mistake. A fabrication, he shouted into the mic. Security. Turn that off. Shut it down. Hit him with part 2, Isabel ordered. I typed. The screen changed. It was now a simple, black screen with white text. A transcript of his call. Prepare the scapegoat protocol. I want her in tears by morning. Ruin her. Rivera was stumbling backward. Lies. This is slander. This is. Part 3, Sophia. The kill shot, Isabel said. I typed. The screen changed again. It was a live feed of the secret Cayman Islands account. Balance, 200,451,208 euros and 14 cents, and then, a new transaction appeared. Live. Transferring. Amount, 200,451,208 euros and 14 cents to Valor Client Restitution Fund. Processing, complete. I was transferring every stolen cent back. Live. In front of 1,000 people. Rivera looked at the screen. He understood. It was over. And then, the main doors of the auditorium swung open. It wasn't bank security. It was the National Securities Commission. And the police. Mr. Alejandro Rivera, the lead agent said, walking calmly down the aisle, his voice amplified by the still open mic. I believe we need to discuss your retirement plan. Spain's most beloved man was arrested, live, in front of every shareholder. Isabel and I watched it on the small security feed. She unplugged her device and packed her bag. Good work, Sophia, she said. It was the first time she'd ever used my first name. She cracked the smallest hint of a smile. By the way, Rivera just vacated the position of Director of Internal Audits. It's a big office. I think you should apply. I didn't have to run. I didn't have to hide. I stayed. And I cleaned house.